Hello everybody, today we are going to study a new grammar lesson, which is the comparative adjectives or the comparison. To understand what is exactly a comparative form, let's start by this example. Here we have two apples, let's say a big one and an even bigger one. So, if we try to compare these two apples, let's say for example, your apple is bigger than mine or my apple. So, what is exactly the comparison? We use comparatives to compare two things or two nouns. Here we have a hippo and an ant. If we try to compare these two animals, we can say that, for example, the ant is smaller than the hippo. In order to learn how to use the comparative, we need to learn several rules. We are going to explore these rules step by step. So, rule number 1. If an adjective has one syllable, we add the ending er to the adjective. Small and hard are two short adjectives. They are composed of only one syllable. We just add er to these adjectives and we get the comparative. For example, small, smaller, hard, harder. For example, here we can say that this man is smaller than this man. Let's go to rule number 2, and it concerns a one-syllable adjective but composed with a consonant, a vowel, and another consonant. So what do we do for this kind of adjectives is that we double the last consonant, then we add the er. Here we have big and fat. Both big and fat are composed with a consonant, a vowel, and another consonant. For example, here we have B, I, and G. We double the last consonant, which is G here, then we add er. The same thing, we double T, we get fatter. Let's try to apply it in this example. We have the elephant is fatter than the giraffe. Now let's move on to rule number 3, and it concerns a two-syllable adjective ending in y, like happy. What do we do for this kind of adjectives? We remove the y and add ier. For example, happy becomes happier, funny becomes funnier. Make sure always to replace the y with I. In this example, we can say that the girl is happier than the duck. As far as rule 4 is concerned, we here talk about long adjectives which are composed of 2 or more syllables. For example, beautiful, wonderful, or amazing. What do we do for this kind of adjectives which are long? We put more before the word. For example, beautiful plus more, we get more beautiful than. In this example, we can say that the butterfly is more beautiful than the frog. As for rule number 5, here we are going to talk about some exceptions. There are certain adjectives which are irregular, which means when we try to apply the comparison, we need to change the whole structure of the word. For example, good becomes better, bad, worse, far, farther or further, little, less, much, more. Here we have to pay attention. When using a comparative, you must always follow it with the word than, not then with E. It's with A. Now before we conclude, it is better to determine the number of syllables in each word. So let's explore this example together. So a syllable is a part of a word containing a vowel sound. For example, if we take this word reading, it is composed of 2 syllables. The first one is read. The second one is ing. So, reading. Let's look at some examples. Okay, for one-syllable adjectives, we can take the word fast, long, big, or cheap. For two-syllable adjectives, happy, crazy, or dirty. For three-syllable adjectives, which are long, important, or wonderful. Note that each syllable is indicated with a different color. So this is the end of our lesson. I hope that you liked it, and thank you for your attention.